You're watching Byline Wilmington on CBS 10 WILM. Here's your host, Don Ansell.
Okay, this Sunday morning we're talking with the chair of the New Hanover County Commission, the brand new chair, I might add, the first new face on holding that seat in the past 18 years, Jason Thompson. Relationships between the city and county have been rocky through the years. You're in a unique position since you are probably the only member of both boards to be on both boards at one time or another. Give us your assessment of where relations are at this point with the city and the county.
Well, I think they have improved over the last few years, but they're poised to improve even more. And like you said, me having been a city council member for 8 years, almost 8 years, and now being a commissioner, I understand where the city's coming from on a lot of issues. Getting up to speed on where the county comes from, and sometimes, even though they think they're way over here, they're really closer than they think. They just got to get those last few little details worked out and we could marry up. So I had breakfast with the mayor this morning, and we talked about 15 issues that he and I felt the city and the county could partnership and work for the better good of this community, and not be, here's the city, here's the county, there's the beach communities, and let's partner up and do things. So it's good. You're going to see a lot of changes in the next year.
What's your position on full consolidation of the two governments?
I think as we move forward, that is going to be a reality.
You do?
I just don't see as, it may be 20 years or 30 years down the road, but as the population grows and the urban area expands due to our small geographical size, functional consolidation is probably going to be first, and then a total consolidation at some point in the future. What does that mean? Some elected officials have to say, we're out of here. I'll be the first one to leave if it's better for the citizens. I don't have a problem with that. But that's really the biggest issue, is the political issues.
Well, territory. And ego.
Ego's a big piece. That's a lot of it. So, it'll probably be some consolidated board, and it'll be in the future, but that I believe that will happen at some point.
Let's talk a little about this whole salary controversy surrounding the local ABC officials.
Okay.
First of all, why do you think the local board at first refused to provide the salaries of its employees, even though the law requires that they have to? I know this is supposition on your part. You didn't do it, but I'm interested in your perception.
Well, here's my perception. As the chairman of the county commissioners, I believe we need to be more involved, and I'll take the blame for it. We didn't know what some of our boards and commissions were doing. That's not going to happen. I sent out a letter this week to the chairman of every commission we have saying, I want to know who your members are. I want their phone numbers, their addresses. I want to know your minutes. I want to know your meeting dates. I want to get a little firmer grasp on what's going on, especially some of the ones that deal in large sums of money. You're talking $30 million annually at the ABC board. Give them a little more oversight. Since we appoint those people, I want to know what they're doing. And the minutes, we do get minutes from the ABC every month, but they're very brief. I'm going to have to get a little more detail about what goes on.
Do you think
I don't even think I answered your question. I just went off on a tangent. That's a good politician. You see how I became chairman, Don? That's how I do it.
I thought you answered some of what I want to know. Do you think it was a form of bureaucratic arrogance when a public organization refuses to reveal the salaries of public employees?
Well,
it's pretty arrogant.
Maybe so. I don't know that was the fact. I know that the Star News reported it that way, but sometimes I think the Star News can be arrogant in their positions too. So I don't know what to say about that.
And it was revealed after the Star News pressed the issue that the top administrator makes $232,200, and his son, who is assistant administrator, basically works for his daddy, makes $115,000 annually. Who sets their salaries?
That three-person board.
Locally appointed.
Locally appointed, and I think every commissioner feels very strongly that those salaries are out of line with the position and the job responsibilities. However, once we appoint these people, that's the good and the bad of an authority or an appointed board. In the Marine Corps, I always heard I could delegate authority, but I can't delegate responsibility. I'm still ultimately responsible for those decisions they make. So that means I gotta do what I think is right. And the issue isn't over, Don, and unfortunately, we've been advised by the legal staff at the ABC board that there may be potential litigation against the county commissioners and the county, so I can't tell you everything I wish I could because there might be a lawsuit coming, but you're a volunteer, you asked to be appointed, and we appointed you. We expect a certain result, and if we don't get those things, then we're going to hold you accountable. That's my opinion.
At a recent meeting that the commission called for the the board, the ABC local board, to answer some questions. One member of that three-member board appeared. Only one member. Did you have a problem with that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That meeting was the opportunity for them to come before us and the public, because it's public meeting and it's on TV, and set the record straight. And what we got was smoke and mirrors and fancy lawyer-esque, finagling, for lack of a better word. And I felt like I was lied to at some points, not told the truth in others, and withheld information. It was a farce, and I didn't appreciate it, and I've expressed that to the members of the ABC board.
You did?
Absolutely.
Just for our viewers, I want to call out the names. Stephen Culberth, who was the junior member of the board, he was the one that showed up and answered the questions.
He came and spoke on behalf of the board to us, yes.
The chairman did not show, Charles Wells, and Richard Hansen, who was also on the board, did not show up.
That is correct. But in fairness to Mr. Wells, he did tell us he had heart valve replacement like 5 or 6 weeks previous, and his doctor said, you don't need to get into heated exchanges in this thing. So I don't know how they elected Mr. Culberth to come before us, but they certainly should have. I would have expected everybody to show up. That's what I would have done.
And how surprised were you to learn that the top administrators also received, on top of their
base pay,
which is pretty hefty, a $50,000 bonus on top of those generous salaries?
Well, that's a combination of the two. The head got 30 and his son got 20, so it's 50,000 in bonuses. How would I feel? I was mad as a hornet about it, Don. I felt we had the opportunity Monday for him to tell us everything, and he did not.
He didn't. He never mentioned that during the questioning of this meeting.
Absolutely not. And then the next day for him to quote in the paper, well, they didn't ask me, so I didn't say. I mean, I'm not in 3rd grade, Don. That sounds like one of my children. I was not happy with that comment, and I'm going to hold him accountable for it.
Have you lost confidence in that three-member board?
I can only speak for myself personally. I'm very disappointed in the performance of that board. Some of those members I know personally and know well, but friendship is one thing, business is another, and this is the county's business and it's the citizens' business, and we have to do what is in their best interest. And if it hurts a friendship for me or somebody who is a political supporter, whoop-de-doo. What's the worst that happens? I don't get reelected. But the county's business and the citizens' interests are protected, and that's what's most important.
Should they be replaced?
That's a question I really can't answer due to legalities of the stuff. I mean, I don't know. I'm going to give them an opportunity as chairman to come before us and present their case again and maybe do a better job than last time. On the other hand, I'm going to give the community that same opportunity. We're going to have a public hearing. Joe Citizen and the board members, everybody come on down and let's talk about it, and then we'll just see what happens.
We're going to take another break. We're talking with the chair of the New Hanover County Commission, Jason Thompson. When we come back, State Senator Thompson? Yes? No? We'll find out. Stay with us.